Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's viral news here. I'm quite shocked actually. I've been laying off uploading videos because of the Dan O'Keefe video that was out. And I just believe that a lot of information that was getting circulated was, not accurate, or there's that many theories going around, you don't know what to believe. So, we're going to watch this video and I'm going to give my views on it. But yeah, he has came back. And it doesn't seem to mention anything about the video.
Hey, it's Dan, just dropping by. We're back with more on the Jay Slater case. We took a short break for a bereavement, but now we're back. And today we can reveal the Britney Spears link in this case. But first, a couple of updates. To comment and subscribe to this page, we've introduced a couple of ground rules. Number 1 is be civil. Number 2, there's no hate of any description. Cross that line, you'll find yourself off our site and off of this platform. Plus, you could also get reported to YouTube, and they have ways in dealing with posting comments. You could find that your comments may be deleted permanently, and nobody wants that.
Okay, I'll start with why didn't he give any apology to Jay's family, for one, and for two, why has he not mentioned the video? It's very strange so far, but let me keep going.
Now, with all that said, of course, we want you to be civil and we want you to comment and, of course, to subscribe. We want to move this conversation forward as much as possible. What we're not going to do is rehash the past. That has been done many, many times with others. We're not going to do it. We're going to move things forward as and from today. Remember, all of us on this channel, from me to everybody that subscribes, and indeed to everyone who comments, are here for one thing and one thing only. That is for justice for Jay Slater. Let's look first of all at the situation regarding Jay Slater in this famous nightclub that he went to. We all know he went to Energy and that famous bag that went missing. Once again, we dwelt again in the past regarding that bag. How a bag could go missing beggars belief. But let's say for the sake of argument that it did go missing. How it did, who knows why it went missing. 1 minute the bag is there, 1 minute the bag is lost.
I'm confused why he's talking about the bag. Dan, what about this video that you've put around YouTube, bro? Like, come on now. You've put a video out there, you've said you've seen, I don't want to go into the depths of it, but I'm sure everyone's seen the video that he posted. And now he's disappeared, and then he's came back, and he's not once mentioned this video so far.
Work it out for yourself why that happens. I can't give you a definitive answer why, but we will go with that for now. So how did the bag go missing? That's one of the big pieces of the jigsaw puzzle we're going to try and figure out today, and see can we piece it all together with your help. First of all, what we can say, no CCTV outside the nightclub, no CCTV on the streets. Isn't that very convenient? You would imagine in a place like Tenerife that there would be CCTV in operation 24/7, but in this instance it wasn't. So no CCTV. Now, what really is hard to believe is the next link between leaving the nightclub and Jay Slater's remains being found in this so-called ravine miles away. And we all know about the wild goose chase. We're not going to go into the net very much depth, but let's sum it up in a couple of sentences. Number 1, it never happened. Number 2, the people that were supposed to be there were not there. And thirdly, the most important one of all, Jay Slater was never there. So make of that what you will. This was all just drummed up, a narrative formed, everybody believed it, and had been fed out from the Spanish police to all the media, who were fools and enough to be suckered in and spread it all out for everyone else to take it all in and believe it. Well, some of the people did believe it. If you want to believe it, that's your choice. Personally, I don't. And there's quite a few people that don't either. And there's questionable remarks as well, whether or not the remains at that ravine were Jay Slater's at all. Again, what is most surprising and indeed alarming is nobody has queried these remains that were found. And how handy it was to have Jay Slater's clothes alongside where he was found. Well, I don't think you need to be Einstein to work it out how all of this happened. He was clearly put there. He was dumped But that's a whole different scenario. The big puzzle we're going to try and work out today is how did he get moved from the nightclub to the ravine? Big question. How do you suppose this happened? There's been loads of theories why it happened, but we're looking for concrete evidence. If you know anything, you know what to do. Drop us a comment here, send us a confidential message on our webpage. Whatever suits you the best, of course, we'll treat it in utmost confidence, and of course, we'll never quote you. But that is just one of the scenarios that makes it very, very hard to believe. And of course, all this stuff of the ravine and the so-called B&B, it was all just the narrative to throw people off the scent and take away the real truth. But when is the real truth going to matter, and when is the real truth going to emerge? What we do know over the past couple of weeks, intense research and intel have told us that Jay Slater's friends were really not his friends at all, come to think of it. They were out for number one, themselves and nobody else. At least one of them works for a well-known criminal cartel, one of the biggest in the world, so much so that their leader is being wanted by the FBI. Plain and simple.
No, I'm just going to say this. I'm not trying to give Dan any defamation at all. I'm really not. I'm not trying to diss him, but you can't come to a platform and, state that you know facts when you've got no evidence to back it up. Like, all these claims, you need evidence. Like, you need solid evidence, bro, and you're not giving us any evidence.
Right? At the moment, he's untouchable. Why would he want to be part of this case? That's for another day, but that's one of the instances. We've been told by other criminal organisations, a bit smaller than the one that's been suggestively involved in this case, that if it was any other bunch of criminals and a bag of drugs, cocaine were missing to the value of 30 grand, it's highly unlikely Jay Slater would have died. Certainly, they would have done something like break his legs, or indeed, they certainly wouldn't have killed him. They needed him to stay alive to work off his debt, and that couldn't happen if he wasn't alive. But what do we know of Jay Slater's friends? Well, more and more is coming into the picture. Is it relevant? Who knows whether it is or not, but it deserves to be put out there. One of them works for a well-known cartel. Several sources have told us this has happened in recent weeks and months. That comes at no great surprise. Another one of his so-called friends, and I do use that in the loosest possible terms, so-called friends, has relationships in the past with various people, underage women to the age of 15, and apparently some things were done that were not very nice. I don't need to go any further, but I think you know what I'm saying. Take all that into account, and the people that were associated with Jay Slater were not very nice at all. They were not friends of his. They didn't have his best interests at heart, and indeed, as I said earlier, they were only looking after number one. What a surprise that is. The Britney Spears connection, you ask. What has that got to do with it? Well, this case is as toxic as it comes, because from start till now, until the very end, it's been toxic from the start, it's toxic now, and whenever this case will ever finish, it'll be toxic in the end. It's full of lies, it's full of deceit, it's full of people out for themselves, it's full of people wanting greed and money. That's what it is, greed and money, and that's never going to stop. People that did this awful crime think, of course, they've got away with it. Jay Slater is just a statistic, kicked to the curb. He's not a very rich person starting out, and of course, when people don't have money, they can't do a whole lot. If Jay Slater was rich, had money at his back, this case would not only be solved, the person and persons who did this awful crime would be behind bars. But life can be cruel, and this...
Okay, so you say awful crime. So again, Dan, you speculate and you need to give us evidence. You can't just say this and put it out in the media. And yeah, it's
is life at its cruelest. You have to have sympathy for Jay Slater's family. They've been going through all this ordeal, and it can't be easy. They have this to live in and day out with little or no support. Let's be fair here. They've been let down by the following people. The Spanish government couldn't give a toss. They couldn't wait to get Jay Slater off that island as soon as possible. The person who went away and did the report on Jay Slater and got the results out very quickly, got him moved, and of course the same results were agreed in the UK. Is it suspicious? Is it odd? Yes. Should it have happened so quickly? Highly unlikely. What can be done about it? Time will tell. But these are all the things that have been a letdown for Jay Slater's family. And of course, does anybody give a toss at the end of the day?
Wow. So Dan, how can you come and speak about Jay's family when you put that disturbing video out there? Now, that would have had a big effect on Jay's family. Now, I just think you contradict yourself quite a lot. And this, I think your content should be, reevaluated, bro. And it shouldn't, I don't believe you should be putting this content out here because you've got no evidence to back it up. You really haven't.
Well, a group of YouTubers do, and they continue to do great work. And of course, they're not helped by the fact that Warren, Jay Slater's dad, has not decided to do any interviews with any of them, which is kind of striking in its own way. These are the people that are there to help. In fact, these are the only people that are there. Nobody else is doing a toss, and nobody else is getting involved. So you would imagine that Warren would talk to someone of the YouTubers, give his side of the story if he wishes, put out a message saying he cares, he wants to get justice for Jay. But as of yet, a bit like Jay Slater's mother, it all falls on deaf ears. Do we have to go to the GoFundMe page? I was hoping we wouldn't. But guess what? It's still running. I know.
Right, for anyone speaking about the GoFundMe, it really does annoy me. Debbie did not create the GoFundMe. Now, Debbie lost her child. No matter what, I would keep that going as well. If people want to pay, that's their fault. That's not their fault. If people want to pay to it, that's their decision, What has it got to do with us? If they want to pay money to Jay's family, let them do it. Let them do it.
Still running. That tells its own story. I've said in the past it's just pure greed. And you know what? That's what it is. Because if it was anybody else, this would have been stopped by...
People keep saying pure greed, but it's still on 72,000, isn't it, right there? So it's still on 72,000. Why do people keep crying over it? Have you donated yourself? If you haven't, then you shouldn't have an opinion on it. It's as simple as that.
In putting Jay Slater to rest would have been incurred, and the rest of the money should be dished out. Even if they went and gave it to a charity of their choice, nobody would have batted an eyelid. But what happens? We have a GoFundMe page still running and running and running, and no sign of it stopping. To suggest it's odd and suspicious is saying it very, very lightly. But that is what we have at this moment in time. So, can anyone fill in the jigsaw puzzle? We have a couple of pieces so far, but there's lots more to fill in. We need your help. It's an awful crime. Some people think that the person or persons that did this awful crime have got away with it. We believe in justice for Jay Slater. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and we are going to be there to catch their killers. If you want to help and support this channel, please do so. Do subscribe, do comment, but please, please do be civil. And we want to move the conversation forward at all times. If you want to react in confidence, please do so. Use the email address here, and we treat every comment in the strictest of confidence. We won't quote you, but we read and we look at every comment we receive and will act accordingly. Unfortunately, we can't comment on everything that we get, but we try to comment on the majority of comments that come our way. That's it for now. I'm Dan. We'll talk soon with another update on the Jay Slater case.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the comments and go through the comments and see yeah, so people are asking about the video. That's the main reason I want to look at the comments. What's been said about the last video that Dan uploaded. See, people's comments getting deleted only asked for a follow-up about the previous video where you claimed you had a video of Jay being tortured. Did the police or parents see it? Dan, what about the video you saw? Right, okay. Good to have you back. Sorry, it just freaked everyone out, then you disappeared. Didn't disappear, I was at a family member's funeral as I stated in the video. Okay, so he not replied about the video still. Will you address the video above Jay having his eyes removed? See, he's just ignoring people. When it comes to the last video he uploaded. I watched a video that said Roman killed Jay by knocking him down, trying to save him for 5 days and he couldn't. And hid him, then placed him in ravine. Don't think it was Jay though in the ravine. See, why does he love that comment though? That's his legs were broken. Oh my god! Like, why is he liking these type of comments though? He's like he's entertaining them, but he's not responding to them. He's like getting us all on edge. You know, I don't agree with that. That's like clout chasing. That is real clout chasing. Stop doing it, Dan. There's literally no explanation of the last video, which I find very rude. This one, you know, it's not
present. That really is opening up a big can of worms for all the people who support very soon. We've seen a video that is so bad, we will not show it here.
So I think you all know the video I'm talking about. Now, he's came back after that, and then, like I say, he's just give this video out, which is it's kind of disturbing, really. He needs to be called out again on the last video, that's all I'm going to say. But anyway, I'm not the best at reacting to videos. This is probably the first time I've did it. Let me know if you want me to do videos like this again, and take care, and I'll see you in the next video.